But I had a nickname for myself. I call myself the firefighter. And I go from one room to the next, putting out fires because we were growing like crazy, but it was painful the whole way up. And I got lucky enough in 2006, I got admitted to this program called Birthing of Giants at MIT. And I got to learn from the best of the best on how to scale a business. It was a high growth entrepreneurs program. There's some billionaire entrepreneurs that have come out of this program. And I really got to learn what are the best practices for scale from some of the top entrepreneurs in the world. And it was an eye-opening experience for me. But I had this moment where it was about 3 years into that program, and I walked in the office one day, and I went to our compliance desk, and I asked this guy, Brian, I said, Brian, hey, what's going on with the Smith file? And we're a mortgage lender, so we're always working on different files. And he looked up at me kind of sideways. He goes, I don't know, man, not my job. Now I'm the CEO of the company. And I just had this person tell me, I don't know, man, not my job. And I said, well, Brian, whose job is it? Is it mine? I'm the CEO of the company. And I'll spare you the real words I said because they weren't as kind as that. And I walked away and I just stormed out and I left and I sat down in my office and I kind of sat down in my chair and I had this sinking feeling. And I thought to myself, I hate this company. And my next thought was a moment that changed my life. I thought, and it's all my fault. I took accountability. You see, I had rolled out core values of my business. And much like many of you, 9 out of 10 of you have core values in your business. I had core values in my business. In fact, this is what the core values look like. We had 6 values, 76 words, and they just hadn't come to life. And there was a moment when I was in that office when I had rolled out those core values to the company, where in the middle of me rolling out the core values, this should have sent a signal to me that I needed some work to do. I'm in the middle of reading the 3rd core value where I'm launching them out to the team. And one of my employees said something, and she took her phone off mute and she accidentally unmuted herself. And she said, this is such bullshit. And I remember I was infuriated. I was in this company I had built that I hated because none of these values were true. It was just untrue. They just weren't alive and well in the organization. And so I went back to year 3 of my program at MIT, and I had this second awakening. So these things are happening to me like dominoes, one after the next. And the second awakening, which was the real moment in my life that just pivoted everything, was I got put through the same exercise I put you guys through. And these 2 gentlemen from this company by the name of Nurse Next Door had their names are Ken Sim and John DeHart, they're co-CEOs. And they asked us as a class to stand up and said, please stand up if your company has core values. And I stood up, proud. I had those 6 core values I had just shown you guys a moment ago. And they said, please stay standing if you could say your core values off the top of your head. Now, mind you, these are the CEOs of the company, I being one of them. And just like you guys, 1 out of 2 of us sat down. 30 out of the 60 people in that room sat down. And we were just graduated from the program that night. Then he said, please stay standing if your employees know your core values. Half of the remaining half sat down. 3/4 of the room sitting down at this point. And then finally they asked, please stay standing if your customers know your core values. And the whole room sat down. And that moment changed my life. I couldn't believe my eyes. Here I was in a room full of 60 entrepreneurs, high growth entrepreneurs, built these amazing companies, yet none of them know their core values. Do they really have core value driven organizations? And the answer was, I didn't think that they did.